So an art brush in Illustrator is a drawing that you turn into something that you can draw with. And if you're trying to create a font or custom font or a logo element, there are a number of different ways that you can construct an art brush. Under Window, if I go to Brushes, let's try that again, Window, Brushes. We have got, in the Brushes palette, a set of pre-made brushes. And these are calligraphy brushes. This is a basic brush. This one looks like an art brush. This is a pattern brush. And this one here is a bristle brush. But I am going to focus on an art brush. And in making an art brush, you need to have some art to start with. So what I'm going to draw is a bone-like shape. And I'm going to start with a rectangle. Maybe that's too long. I'm thinking something like this. And I'll have no stroke and a fill of black, making sure that this really is no stroke, not white stroke. Then I'm going to zoom in to one side and I'm going to draw this joint-like shape. At least in my mind, that's what this is. So I'm going to start with a circle, not a rectangle. There we go, an ellipse. And my ellipse is going to be kind of a flat ellipse. V is for the move tool. And I want to carve out of this shape. So the bottom has the curve I want, but I want the top also to have a similar curve. So I'm going to copy and paste this ellipse and place one on top of the other. And I'll use a pathfinder to trim with. So I'll go Window, and I believe we did do pathfinder last week. And here I want to do a minus front. And so I now have this crescent type shape.
Did you have both selected?
I had both selected. And then I chose minus front. Now I'm thinking I really should just do a left half and then do the right half. So I'm now going to chop it in half again here. I'm going to take the rectangle tool, and in fact, just to make sure I can see center, I'm going to go Command R to bring up the rulers and then place a guide at the center point. And I am recording this, so if you want to just watch, you can watch, and then you can try it again later. So here's a blue rectangle on top of my shape, and I'll select these both. I like simple graphic-y things. So minus front, now I've cut it again. So I have this partial shape here, and then I want, as this comes up, kind of have like little knobs on the end, like a bone, or a stylized bone to be more specific. So I'll add to the shape here to thicken this part up. And I'm just making this up off the top of my head. So I want this to be part of this other shape. And that lines up pretty well. I will select them both, and then I will choose Unite. Now it's one piece. It's this one, Unite. And then I will use another small circle here. Now I might change this 9 more times, but I'm just giving you the trajectory here. And here's another light blue shape. So here I'm looking at the negative and positive of my idea here. Is kind of odd, but I'm selecting these both, and again I'll do minus front. Very pointy. Didn't really expect it to be so pointy. Right, but I really should take a better look at what I'm creating here. I really just want this to be more of a nodule. So the shape I want, kind of more like that. Okay, so what am I doing there? I think what I really need to do is just rotate this. So I'm going to go R for rotate and push this up a little. And if you recall earlier, I was talking about doing things that are not necessarily comfortable, forcing yourself sometimes to do something that makes no sense so that you can stretch and grow. At some point, you're like, have I grown enough? Click, Option Shift click. Now I have 2 of these. And so this is my faux bone shape. It's a bone, bless you, a bone-like, conceptually a bone shape. Okay, it's a concept. So I'll select these 2 pieces here, and I'm actually going to make sure everything is on the center, on this line on center. That's good. That's better. And then this I need again at the bottom. So I'm going to zoom in and see if I made that shaft too long. I did. I think I made it way too long. And you'll see why in a minute. So proportionately, it's getting more, making more sense, but I'm not really there yet. All right, here's the next couple of steps. I'm going to shorten this rectangle. Okay, sort of looks like a wrench. I'm going to zoom in. All right, maybe I'll lengthen it again. So I'm using the sub-select tool. I'm just selecting on these points. Right now I need to have another set of these doohickeys. So I'll select them both, copy, and then paste in front. So it's there. You can't see it, but it's there. And then R for rotate, and I'll rotate that around, holding the Shift key. And I'll move this set down. So it's almost like some kind of a pillar shape, but that's my faux bone. It's conceptually a bone. Okay, Vicki, I know you'll do something so much better than that. All right, so here I'll now unite that into one piece. So now I have art, okay? And I want to draw that with this thing. So with it selected, from the brushes palette, I will choose New Brush and choose the option for Art Brush and click OK. Now Illustrator wants to know, what direction do I expect to draw in? Well, that's hard to say. I'm going to say I'm going to draw up and down, or down and up. When I draw, I'll move my hand that way. And so this is going to be called my bone brush 1. And yes, I want it to stretch to fit the bone length, to the stroke length, and we'll see what I get. There it is, right in there. That's my brush. So all of that said and done, this thing is not the brush. It's just what was used to make the brush. So if I take a brush now, there's the brush tool, and I choose this object, click, it applied it to that because that was selected, so let me click away. Now I will take the brush tool and choose the brush, and now if I draw or paint something with the brush tool, that looks really bad. But if I can start finding some interesting forms in here. All right, so it's a very complex thing to try to draw with. So I'm going to undo a few of these steps and see how small am I trying to draw. That may be also the issue. So if I draw larger, so you can start seeing what is getting stretched and what isn't. And if I double click on the brush, what about scale proportionally? What's that going to do for me? So I'll click OK. Now it's going to want to know if I want to apply it to the stroke or leave those alone. I'm going to leave them as they were. I'll draw again with the new settings. Surprising results. So sometimes this is like a really awesome thing. There, that's better. Sometimes it's not so great. Like this one here is kind of cool, right? That one's okay. So it looks like I need to draw it more in proportion to what I want to create. So something smaller. All right, so that's a huge hint that I just realized there. So what I just realized here in my little experiment was that what I need to do before making this brush work is to take this piece and essentially make it way bigger. Okay, so now I've done that. And I'll this time drag it into the brush palette and tell it to be an art brush. And click OK and stretch to fit, stretch between guides, scale proportionally. Stretch to scale proportionally is what I'm going to go with. And click OK. And now again, if I take my paintbrush tool and I try to make a W, that's going to be horrible. But if I make a W this way, get the idea? So some forms are going to loan themselves better to certain things than other things. And it takes a fair amount of experimentation to do one of these and have it really be anything but bizarre. Though I will say, an interesting method to this, another way of approaching this is to start with a font. And I'll do that in the next movie. So I'm going to